think of any other questions. I'm actually quite impressed.
Scenarios aren't full. There's multiple scenarios that can run at the same time.
Okay.
So we could have 50 scenarios running at the same time if we need to. And then we take all the victory points generated from all of them and apply them to your win or lose. Okay? So once you beat those scenarios, all the scenarios close down, and you're able then to run in real time into the capital cities and do things like, desecrate the walls, break down their statues, generally cause a mess in the capital cities. Also within the capital cities is some of the best loot in the game. So one time you might see the king, next time maybe it's the duke. They're all going to have great rewards for you, so you're going to want kind of this interesting thing happening different times when you go in. So we are doing a lot of things that we call living city type encounters, and that's part of the encounters changing at different times of the day, depending upon different things that are happening in the world. Those encounters will change for you. And you can do things with these, like, for example, you could fight the king. You can't kill the king, but you can capture him. So you can grab the enemy king, drag his butt across your world to your capital city, lock him in the stockades, and maybe we let you throw rotten tomatoes at him and stuff. They got to come and recapture their king to get him back. Or maybe, you have a merchant that has the best crafting resources in the game, and he's got them all in his donkeys out in front of his shop. But in order to get them, you have to take his slow donkeys and you have to lead them slowly across the world in order to capture them. In the meantime, while you're leading the donkeys, everybody in the game can see you on the map and try to come and kill you to take them for themselves. Like, there's a lot of different things that we're putting in like that, so there's a lot of different experiences that you're going to have.
Aren't you worried that you might have this faction imbalance where other people will play the beautiful, good races and nobody will play the ugly greenskins and chaos?
So, of course we're worried about it. As with a lot of the things that we're doing with Warhammer, we've had a lot of experience playing around with these kind of things in Camelot, and the first plan is we don't let them happen, or we try to encourage players to not let them happen. We have a bunch of different mechanisms I'm not going to go into now. So the way that careers work in Warhammer, there are 4 distinct and unique careers per race. So for a total of 24 for the entire game once we're complete. Some of them are very similar to others because they perform similar functions, though they do them in different ways, and others are radically different. So for example, in the dwarf side, we have Ironbreaker, we have hammers, engineers, and rune priests. On the greenskin side, we have black orcs, shamans, squig herders, and what we're currently calling the Iron Claw, though I don't know if we're going to continue with that name. If you look at the black orc, for instance, the black orc is a tank. He's a big, heavy armored guy. He's this guy. If you look on the dwarf side, you have the Ironbreaker. Same thing, heavily armored tank. He's this guy. They perform a similar function, but their class and their careers are completely different. They do things differently, they play differently, they have different mechanics. On the other hand, we have classes like the Engineer. The Dwarven Engineer is kind of a crazy inventor who uses items and manipulates items within the world to fight. So for example, he has things like explosives and hand grenades and rockets and crazy stuff, handguns, that kind of stuff. If you look on the greenskin side, there's nothing like him. Greenskins, on the other hand, have what we call the Squig Herder. So Squig Herder is a pet class where he's able to summon and manipulate these things called squigs, these little beastly monsters. And he can do lots and lots of different things with squigs. So each race has a variety of different classes that they're able to play with.
So how am I going to customize my character? Say I play a shaman who's a spellcaster and a healer.
Right.
Will I be both at the same time? Will I have to choose? And how flexible will I be?
So there's 3 package areas, what we're currently calling core, specialization, and secondary, and those names probably will change. So for example, as a shaman, my core skills are the skills that every shaman will learn. I have choice in when I learn the skills, but I don't have choice in what skills I learn. If you're a shaman and I'm a shaman, by the end of our career, we'll know the same core skills, okay? That's what makes me a shaman, it's what makes you a shaman. For specialization and secondary though, you have a limited number of points to spend in specialization and secondary points. This is where you get diversity. So this is probably 20 to 25% of your character will be different than other shaman in how you spend your points in secondary and specialization skills. So this is different heals, different nukes, different types of abilities, you name it.
So what happens when I change my mind?
We will have a way for you to change your mind and go back and change the skills that you've learned. Exactly what that is, I don't want to get into it now. But there is a way.
How much of Dark Age of Camelot is in Warhammer?
Boy, that's a good question. So, my background is Dark Age of Camelot. I love the game. I tried to take all of the good and great things from Dark Age of Camelot and make sure that they made their way into Warhammer somehow. Mark Jacobs, the lead designer for the game, was also lead designer for Camelot. So those ideas that he has, I think he's honed to perfection for Warhammer, and we're taking that vision and applying it here. So hopefully what we achieve is we take out the maybe not so great things from Camelot, keep all the good things, and add a really great layer of Warhammer type stuff to it.
So why are you going for this all-out PvP experience? Because more or less it seems to be that kind of game that would attract me as a PvP player, not as a PvE person.
So I personally think that it's a game that can be played and can be had a great time with for both. We have a lot of great PvE innovations, like with the Public Quest. RVR is our thing, though. We really believe strongly that RVR provides not only a lot of fun on an individual, session basis, but it provides a variety of fun every single night. Instead of going and killing the dragon and going to this raid and doing it over and over and over again every night, I go out to RVR. RVR changes every night. I can get the same types of rewards from RVR. I get a mixed up, great experience every single time I do it. Plus, it's a never-ending experience. Because of that change, every night I'm going out and I'm doing different things and I'm fighting that battle, and tonight the battle has moved a little bit farther. The next night's a little bit farther. Tonight we're going to capture the enemy capital city. The next night they're attacking us. So it's this great back and forth that truly never ends. But we're not big believers in large raids for PvE. Are there raid type situations you can be in? Absolutely. Will there be multi-group raiding in PvE? You bet. But are we going to focus on things like what you said, 40-man raids? No, absolutely not. There'll be smaller raids and easier accessibility, I guess.
So you're trying to do right what World of Warcraft did wrong?
I didn't say that. What we're trying to do is make RVR as accessible as World of Warcraft has made PvE. That make sense?